We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to Gray Lives on the Rise, and I am the host and founder, Professor Jamila Franklin, and if this is your first time joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been with us before, you know how wonderful our guests are, and so we have a beautiful, amazing guest this evening, Dr. Uwa Osimiri. So we're going to bring her on very quickly after we do the little infomercial. And she has so graciously accepted our offer to be a guest this evening, and her story is amazing, like her, amazing, okay? So, first of all, my name is Professor Jamila Franklin. I started this movement, it's a movement, about 2 years ago. I was walking, and then all of a sudden, a download came into my consciousness. I'm really into fitness, so I was walking doing this power walk, and something said, well, you know, there's nothing out there that deals with your demographic. And I thought about it, and I said, that's true, except AARP and Medicare. And we do not, a lot of my friends and I, don't have medical issues. There's nothing wrong with Medicare, but we just don't have those kinds of issues, a lot of us. So I thought that was a very worthy organization, but it just didn't personally resonate with me. The same thing with AARP, which is an amazing organization. But, when you think about it, you think about people who are sedentary and people who have retired from life. And most of those people in those groups have not done that. But that's the negative connotation that you have with it. So I said, okay, then the download said, okay, come up with a name, come up with some adjectives that accurately describe who you are, come up with a store and a podcast. And so I first said, Gray Lives Matter. And I said, nah, that's overused. And then Gray Lives on the Rise came into my consciousness. I said, I like that. I like it because it is very accurately describes who we are and what we do. And we're on the rise, and you don't have to have gray hair. You don't have to have hair at all. It's a consciousness. So I said, yeah. And then the adjectives. We're not elderly. We're not old. We're not decrepit. We're not over the hill. We're vibrant. We're alive. We're golden. We're mature. We're seasoned. So, okay, that resonates with me. And then I thought about, okay, you need to have something that sticks with people. So products with the store, right? So that would be good. And that's how this logo came about in terms of Great Lives on the Rise. We have cups, we have t-shirts, we have handbags, we have journals, we have everything you can imagine, okay? So you have to go to our store. And then the last thing was the podcast. I said, I wanted to reach out to people who were 50 plus, because when you become 50 in this country, people dismiss you. And it's interesting. You could be 49 today, tomorrow, if you're 50, you become like a relic. That's interesting. And in talking to people around the world, because this is a global movement, it is not just for people in this country. They were all having the same issue. People were not interested in harming them or using their services or whatever. They were basically dismissing them. So I said, we can do something about that. Let's come together as a collective and have people in our collective buy from each other, support each other, because we outnumber them anyway. And the irony is that a lot of these young people are working for people who are baby boomers and who are 50 plus. Those are their bosses. I'm like, and you have the nerve to discriminate against people? So I said, we don't have to beg to sit at their table. We can form our own movement. And so now, a year and a half later, we are thriving because that's what we do. So that's the background story. And I am Professor Jamila Franklin. I'm a certified Reiki master, a certified aromatherapist, a certified metaphysician, a college professor of psychology. I have my own aromatherapy company, and I created my own modality, healing ancestral trauma. Okay, this was a download from spirit, because in my clinical practice, I saw over and over again that people were suffering from ancestral trauma. So one of the things that I do is help them release that trauma. And I'm an award-winning author and a lot of other things too. But today it's not about me. It's about Dr. Uwa Osimiri. And she is so amazing, so amazing. But before we get to talking to our wonderful, beautiful guests, this is one of the products that we are proud to announce. This is a product that's underwriting our show, our podcast. One of my products, Jamila Scent, and it is all natural, and it's amazing. It's an aromatherapy product, and you put a couple of drops in your hand, and you rub your hands together, and you just breathe in. Oh my goodness. Gets rid of stress, anxiety, depression, hyperactivity within children, sinus congestion, sinus headaches, migraine headaches, menopausal symptoms, flies and mosquitoes won't come near you, and it's all natural. Everything I do is natural. So go to our website, Oyende Enterprises, OYIN like a Nancy, D like a dog, E, Enterprises, ENTERPRISES.com, OyendeEnterprises.com. And you will see it when you go to our website. So when you go to our store, you will find all of these products by Oyende Enterprises, and you will see Great Lives on the Rise. It is amazing. You will see the full description of Great Lives on the Rise. So we thank you for joining us today, and you're going to be in for an amazing treat. An amazing treat. So I'm going to introduce you to Her Excellency, Chief Dr. Uwa Onyioha, I knew it, Dr. Onyioha Osimiri is a distinguished leader and advocate for women's empowerment, serving as the founder and president of the African Women Mobilization Commission. This nonprofit organization is dedicated to mobilizing women and girls to assume leadership roles through training, conferences, global engagement, and STEM education. And I have to just give a disclaimer. This beautiful, wonderful guest is amazing. And I was telling her, when people are born in this country, because a lot of us have not taken second languages, sometimes we have challenges. Like I was having challenges in terms of saying things correctly. And I'm a stickler about saying things correctly. So I am apologizing beforehand because I know some of the names from different countries I may mispronounce. So that is part of my not having been really exposed as much as I would have liked growing up. So I apologize to the audience if I stumble over some of the words because she and I have gone over them, and still, because of my nervousness and trying to get it correct, I may mispronounce some words. So I apologize beforehand. Dr. Osimiri is also the spiritual head of the Global Faith Ministries of Chiism International, a ministry rooted in Judaism that was founded by her father, Ahani, K-O-K, Onyioha, I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry. In recognition of her contributions to her community, she holds 6 prestigious Nigerian chieftaincy titles. Her impactful work has garnered significant media attention, with features in the Detroit News as one of Michigan's most influential women, Atlanta's Voyage magazine, and various other publications. Drawing from her unique experiences as a Nigerian woman and survivor of war trauma, Dr. Osimiri has delivered lectures at esteemed institutions including Wayne State University, Oakland University, Michigan State University, University of Phoenix, Emory University, and numerous secondary schools. Dr. Osimiri earned her doctorate degree in physics or natural theology, complemented by doctoral research in clinical psychology. This academic background equips her with the knowledge and skills necessary to guide others in navigating mental struggles and unlocking their full potential. Her heartfelt passion and dynamic energy inspire audiences to transcend their limitations and achieve prominence in various aspects of life. As both a keynote speaker and trainer, Dr. Osimiri has developed transformative training programs that empower individuals. Her charm, enthusiasm, and wit have turned ordinary individuals into remarkable success stories, utilizing her personal experiences alongside a deep understanding of others' challenges to elucidate what drives results and what does not. In addition to her speaking engagements, Dr. Osimiri has conducted women empowerment workshops for organizations such as Chrysler Corporation in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and various women of the bar conferences. She's committed to not only motivating others in their personal and professional lives, but also addressing global issues and advocating for change through self-transformation. And she's amazing at doing that. We had a brief conversation about a week ago, and I was just so amazed at her background and her poise and her delivery in terms of being able to talk about things that have transformed her life. And she comes out on the other side of it with love and compassion for others. She's just amazing. Throughout her career, Dr. Osimiri has received numerous accolades for her contributions to business and education, including an educational citation. As a friend of education in Michigan, several Spirit of Detroit awards, and Wayne County certificates of recognition. She was nominated for the Faculty of the Year Award at the University of Phoenix, where she serves as an advanced certified faculty in the Department of Business Administration, teaching MBA courses in leadership and organizational behavior and is a certified senior grant writer. Additionally, she has participated on the advisory board for the Women Federation for World Peace and was a member of the Emerging Minority Business Council of the state of Michigan. Her work with the governor's Small Business Initiative earned her a certificate of tribute from former Governor Jennifer Granholm. In 2019, Dr. Osimiri was appointed as the Ambassador for Women Affairs to the United States for Abia State, Nigeria, as part of the NWALOTA project. Nigeria welcomes, which is an acronym for Nigeria Welcomes Africans Living Outside the African Continent, by Governor Okazi Ikpeazu, Ikpeazu. As the host of 2 podcasts, the Ndumadu Show and Chiism Live, Dr. Osimiri continues to share her insights and inspire a global audience. She is also the international matron of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, further extending her influence and commitment to uplifting others. Without further ado, I bring on the wonderful Dr. Osimiri. Dr. Osimiri, please forgive me. After the show, you and I are going to have a tutorial where you teach me the correct pronunciations, because these awards and these names are worthy of the correct pronunciation. So I beg your forgiveness. But you are such an amazing person, and I wanted to read your entire biography. We had talked before the show and said we could cut it in half. I said, no, I want to read the entire biography because the audience deserves to know about this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Earth Angel and all the things that you have done and contributed to humanity, to the people of the African continent and the people throughout the African diaspora for whom I belong, you know, because we all are brothers and sisters, and we're part of the diaspora over here in the States. So we welcome you, and I am so pleased that you took up time from your very, very busy schedule. Yeah, Your Excellency, thank you so much. I so appreciate you. I so appreciate you.
And let me tell you, don't even worry about it. In terms of the names, I do the same thing, you know. If you're not used to the name, it's quite easy to mispronounce. So don't worry, you did just fine.
But you know something, Dr. Osimiri, that's the issue here in this country. We need to know how to pronounce our African names. We need to know how to pronounce it. So I don't take a pass. I don't take a pass. I don't. So that's something that we definitely
spent time. I haven't really spent time teaching you how to say it.
Yes. Well, we're going to have a tutorial after the show.
And there you go.
Because I think, you know, when people, and I'm not one of those, but people can pronounce all these long French names, okay? Yeah. They can pronounce all these made up names that they make up for children, right? Names, you're like, what? I mean, they are a foot long and they can pronounce them. So there's no reason for us not to be able to pronounce the names of our heritage. There's just no reason. We just have to be exposed more. And I think the more we're exposed, then we won't have that as an issue. So again, my apologies for not being able to pronounce them correctly, but rest assured, give me a week. It's going to be on. That's how I am. So Dr. Osimiri, I'm just so amazed with your background. You have done so many commendable things, and she's so very humble. You see how regal she is. She's so very humble, and she's always contributing. She has this wonderful project. I want you to talk about it with the young girls from the ages of 12 to 18, and just talk about everything that you would like to share with our listening audience. And we cannot forget to give them your contact information.
Okay. First of all, let me thank you so much for having me on your show. It's quite an honor. I am very honored to be here today. And the focus of my presentation, and I'll slide into all the other topics, is being unbound by the past. Being unbound by the past. It's dedicated to everyone who's ever felt weighted down, by yesterday's mistakes or disappointments or memories. Um, I just want to talk about how letting go of what holds us back can open the door to a life filled of hope and joy and possibilities of growth. Whether you're seeking a fresh start or simply a little inspiration, I believe that
Yeah.
you're in the right place today. So it's important to understand what the concept of being unbound by the past is. What
Mm,
does it mean to be unbound? Many of us, some of us have really good backgrounds. We have good stories to tell, good
mm,
experiences. But a lot of us don't. A lot of us have things that have happened to us in the past that weigh us down. And the idea of letting go is for you to grow.
mm,
You can't just sit on what happened to you in the past. It's about freeing yourself, freeing ourselves, quite frankly, from regrets, self-limiting beliefs and memories that prevent us from moving forward. I believe in moving forward. And you can't move forward if you're stuck in the past. The past is
mm.
important, obviously, because we learn from the past. But if we sit on the past and that's all we think about, it does hold us back. I want to
Yeah.
share personal story. And I miss my father. My father has joined the ancestors. Uh,
Mm,
he, yes, he passed away at the age of 80, which in our tradition means that he's now an ancestor. So we were quite grateful, though we miss him. We're grateful that he did make it to become an ancestor so that when we pour libations, we can call his name. My father was very instrumental in helping me let go of the past. I'm
mm,
a product of the Nigerian Biafran. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Nigerian Biafran War that happened from 1967 to 1970, ended in 1970. It was the Nigeria against the southern part of Nigeria, which was Biafra. Biafra, well, I was Biafran then. I'm Nigerian now, but Biafra was trying to secede from Nigeria. Unfortunately, the British and America and France got involved in the war, and unfortunately, that made it very difficult for Biafra. Biafrans are Igbos, so I'm an Igbo. You
mhm,
okay? So the war started in 1967. For those people think it's fun to experience war. It's not. It's the
mhm,
worst thing you can experience. And
mhm,
when people advocate for war and they think it's just a matter of carrying guns and shooting up things, unless you're really in it, you don't understand the gravity of war. I did. I was a product of the war. And the horror of the war
mhm,
was something that you just don't shake off easily. And
mhm,
in my case, it was rather difficult because I was a child and I saw the war up close and personal. We had the misfortune, or I had the misfortune of seeing the aftermath of a bombing raid or strafing. Strafing is when the planes the warplanes will strive, use bullets, just spray bullets on the people, and also drop bombs. And so you see that you see the damage done to the human body littered everywhere. The worst part of it was when they came to the schools. They came to the schools. We had to wear uniforms. It was red and white uniforms, and there was strife. The schools, So at the end of the day, at the end of the strife, you see little children, just dead kids everywhere. I'm alive today, quite frankly, because there was a young man, there was a hole in the ground. When the bombing started, there was a hole in the school ground. And I jumped in there, and this young man pulled me out because he wanted that spot. And unfortunately, the bomb dropped in that spot after I had left it. And needless to say, he lost his life. So I'm quite, I say he's my guardian angel. Certainly, I'm sad that he lost his life, but had he not pulled me out of there, I would have been in there, would have been me. And certainly there would be no, no Dr. Osimiri today. But the war was so ugly, besides the killing that we observed, we saw the starvation. 2 million Biafran children died from starvation purposefully. The starvation was done by the uh, Nigerian adversaries at that time, purposely to stop the war, to stop Nigeria, or convince Biafra rather, to convince Biafra to give up. The Biafrans didn't give up, and consequently, many of the children kept dying, up to maybe perhaps more than 2 million. There was no food. It got so bad that my parents could not feed us. I remember very distinctly, my mother would dress us up in tattered clothing so that we could go and sit in the hot sun with a lot of all the hungry children in front of the Red Cross. The Red Cross was feeding, hungry children. But you had to be really, literally dead for them to feed you. They had to count your ribs. And if they count your ribs and it doesn't, and there's still some meat there, you don't get food. And your stomach has to be distended. And many of those kids had what they call kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor was a disease of starvation. So if you didn't have kwashiorkor, that means that you are at the point of death. If you're not at the point of death, rather, then you don't get fed. Then, so we didn't have any food to eat. My mother had to go into the bushes, try to find some leaves that she can cook. But to find the right leaves, she had to make sure that the leaves didn't kill her. So she will actually take the initiative to eat the leaves. And if she survives, then she gives us she'll prepare it for us to eat. If she doesn't survive, well, thank God she did survive. And then my father had a bicycle. I'll never forget it. He had this bicycle, and the bicycle had no tires, but it had wheels. So you could hear Dad when he came back, sometimes empty-handed, his quest to find food. He'll come back empty-handed. He looked haggard. He looked hungry. It was just absolutely horrific. We're eating anything possible that we could find. Mice, bugs, name it. At that time, when you're hungry, you don't discriminate. You're not picky. Eat anything to sustain you. We went through all of that. And the worst part of it was when at the end of the war, the soldier took me away from my parents. And I was sodomized in front of them, in front of my parents. There was nothing they could do for me. And eventually, my parents were forced to leave me. And but my mother refused to leave the environment, the village. She was sure that at some point I'll find my way and escape, which I eventually did. And it's a long story. I wrote a book about it. It's still a manuscript. I eventually, 3 days after I escaped, I found my parents. But I'm telling you this story to say that such a past, such experience would have held somebody down. I did to some degree. It did impact me terribly. And I wasn't, I used to be a precocious child, always followed my father everywhere. I always wanted to hear what he had to say. But all of a sudden, I got quiet. I would look people in the eye. I was ashamed of what happened. I felt I was to blame. My mother really didn't know how to deal with it. But my father thought that it was imperative that he didn't lose me. So he started his own therapy sessions with me. My parents had 9 children at that time, 10 children actually at that time. And by 5 a.m. every morning, my father would take me to the back of the building and make me sit there with him so we could watch the sunrise. And for me at that time, I really didn't understand, the big deal about the sun. but he seemed obsessed with me watching the sun rise. So that was fine with me. But for me, the exciting thing was I was there with my dad. Everybody else was sleeping, and here I was with dad. My dad was just such a wonderful gentleman. But anyway, eventually he asked me, "Do you know why I make you watch the sunrise?" I said, "No, I don't know." He says, "I make you watch the sunrise so you can see the only thing greater than you, the sun, the greatest manifestation of God. Unless somebody is the sun, they cannot define you. So you don't allow anybody's actions or anybody's opinion about you become your reality." And he says, "Oh, well, you don't have the right to die until you've made a difference and never live anywhere unknown." And he would say, "What would your tombstone say?" That's what you preoccupy your life with, not what happened to you. Now you have to move forward. You are not bound by the past. You must move forward. That became my modus operandi. How do I live up to the expectations that he had? And how do I pull myself away from what happened to me and move forward? And since then, my quest has always been to do whatever I can to help people. And in so doing, it's therapeutic for me. I don't have the time to worry about what happened to me in the past. I focus now on moving forward. That is what it means to be unbound by the past. Yes, the past happened. Yes, the past is ugly, but you cannot live in it, because living in it means you cannot move forward. So that is my story. That's what moves me every day. We have a program in 2001. I mean, 2001. I was a delegate of the United Nations World Council of Legions for World Peace. My father was supposed to go, but he was ill. So I was sent. My husband is the high chief priest of Chiism, and he deferred to me to go to Nairobi, Kenya. And it was in Nairobi, Kenya that the purpose of that conference was to talk about the impact of HIV/AIDS on vulnerable children in Nairobi. It was my first introduction to HIV/AIDS, and it was horrific. Met lots and lots of young children, young college students who were dying of HIV/AIDS. Young children there was a place called Kibera, the landfills of Kibera, where we saw children eating, trying to find whatever they can find. These are children as young as 2 years old with no parents. Parents all passed away to HIV/AIDS. It was just horrific, you see. But that was my introduction to HIV/AIDS. So the whole idea of the conference was for the world religious leaders to come together, since we are the ones who have a lot of individuals at our churches listening to us, and we need to do something about the stigma associated with HIV/AIDS. And that became my passion. When I came back to Michigan, I formed the African Women Economic Consortium, but later on it became African Women Mobilization Commission. And our mission is what we call impact, mobilization, philanthropy, advocacy, culture, and training. So this coming Saturday, we have one of our programs called Black Girls Rise. And the purpose of that, again, that's my continued mission to not allow the past to undermine what I could be doing, how I can move forward, and helping others who have encountered challenges is very therapeutic to me. So this Saturday, we are going to have young girls who are going to come and learn about personal hygiene, about their role in maintaining culture, about rising. Our logo is children rising, becoming the phoenix. It has the image of the phoenix rising. From the valley to the mountaintop. It's going to be quite an exciting program for these girls. It's going to be an annual program.
But I'm so impressed, because what happens with you is that you do things that people could do and choose not to do. You reach back and you pull others up that are disenfranchised, that have no hope, that have been abused and neglected, and you don't forget about them, regardless of if they were born here in America, if they were born in Nigeria, if they were born in the Caribbean. And that's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful attribute. And in my talking with you, almost a week ago, because I had met you before, but we had never talked, I said, this person is indeed an earth angel. And I need to have her on my show if she's able to do so because of your time commitments and things like that. The things that have happened to you and for you, Dr. Osimiri, are things that have pruned you and you've come out like a rose. You have not withered and just given into the circumstances. People who've had far less than you have become cynical and given up on life. So I am just so impressed and so grateful that you're on the show. And let me just go back because people don't know part of your history. You came from a privileged background before the war. Your family was a family of means. And so when the war came and your family was stripped of everything and had to live a life that was beyond meager. Meager isn't even the appropriate term for it. And your mother she pulled something from her soul to say, my children have to eat. Even though we're used to things that were indicative of an upland lifestyle, we have to deal with the reality now.
Yes.
And what she did is she pulled from the ancestors because they were there with her. And your father too. They made a way out of no way. And here you are today, you are the phoenix, having risen from the ashes and been resurrected to help those here and throughout the world who have a dismal perspective about life. You say, no, you are not your circumstances. They don't define who you are. And that's just so amazing. And, it's not even in words. It's not impressive because that's not the word. But you are the living example of showing people you too can survive. I survived this. And I'm willing to give you the blueprint and a template to help you survive this. Because the people external to you will have you think that you're worthless. And like your father did, what he did was so amazing. He told you to look at the sun and said, okay, this is where you come from. This is the universe, it's the creator of the universe. No one else can define you except that presence in you. Don't let any external circumstance like we're experiencing now in this country define who you are. Don't give into it because that is not who you are. So again, I thank you.
The other thing is, one of the things that holds a lot of us back is when we have a fixed mindset as opposed to growth mindset. I remember something that Stephen Biko, a South African activist, said. Yeah, Stephen Biko said to young South Africans that you must hold on to your mind. The most powerful tool in the hands of an oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
Yes.
You know what a tool is. A tool is something that you use to build something or to break something, to tear something down. Now, your mind can become a tool that can be used to tear you down, okay? And during the time of apartheid, the objective is to tear you down, to work on your mind, to convince you that you're not good enough. And if you're convinced you're not good enough, you will not be good enough. So what he was saying is, hold on to your mind. What's important is not your car, not your house, not your money. What's important, really, when all is said and done, is your mind. So hold on to it. So your mindset, okay, You must have the mindset that I can overcome. Someone else's opinion about me cannot be my reality. Yes,
Yes.
yes, all that horrible things they did, right? But on the other hand, you can overcome all of that if you
Mm-hmm.
believe. But your
Mm-hmm.
mindset has to say that's growth mindset. Yes,
Yeah.
I've been in the dark. I've been in the past. It's in my past, but I can do better. People think that doing better, growth has to do with money. It doesn't.
It doesn't. No.
Because if you travel, for instance, if you travel to an African community where people are not rich, you wonder why are they smiling? Why are they seem so happy? Because their
Mm-hmm.
mindset is not fixed. It's not focused on just money. It's
Right.
focused on family, it's focused on community, it's focused on freedom to think, to breathe fresh air, to be in the sun. While a lot of us are languishing on the fact that, oh, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that, that's a fixed mindset. But a growth
Mm-hmm.
mindset is okay, I'm grateful for what I have, but I can do better if I just work at it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if J.K. Rowling.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I quote her all the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
she's
she
author.
came from
Right?
poverty,
Yeah,
living on aid.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the author
Yes.
for Harry Potter.
Yes.
Told her, they told her her book was no good.
Exactly.
Just on top
Exactly.
of emotions, right? But what did
Yes.
she do? She kept it going. She
Yeah.
believed that she will succeed eventually. And
Yeah.
boy, did she ever. She's a multi-millionaire now.
Yeah.
You
300
understand?
publishers turned her down.
Yeah,
300.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
tell
But this,
people it only takes one. Like with you, your father. It doesn't take a whole group of people. It
no, it
was your
doesn't.
father. It was your
It
father. It
doesn't.
just takes one. It just takes
It,
one.
it takes just one. It takes
Mm-hmm.
just one.
Just
My
one.
father, and I did tell you this, if my father knew you today, if my father met you today, you will be the greatest African of the 21st century. That's what everything was to him. Okay.
Yes.
Because he never saw your financial status or your
Right.
financial condition. He
Right.
always looked at the potential that you have. So to
Yeah.
him, everybody is the greatest African of the 21st century. You may not
Mm-hmm.
be that now, but he believes that you could be. So even
Yes.
my children, all his grandchildren always say, here comes grandpa. I'm the greatest African of the 21st century. And he said, that's right. That's what you are. You must believe that you've got that capacity. Don't let anybody's opinion about you define who you can, who you
Exactly.
are. I always say to, remind us, African people in particular, we come from greatness. And now I'm not talking about greatness in terms of everybody coming from kings and queens and all of that. That's not true. Yeah, we have some kings and queens, but all of us didn't come from them. But we still have the knowledge, okay, the vision, the wisdom of our great grandfathers and great grandmothers, all still accessible to us through the power of our spirit. We need to
Yeah.
be willing we need to be willing to reach back. See, we represent, and that's what our people need to know. You represent the vision, you represent the aspirations of the ancestors.
Exactly.
That's why
Exactly.
they ask you, whose child are you? Ibumonye, whose child are you? If you're misbehaving or if you can't seem to pull yourself up, the elders will ask you, Ibumonye, whose child are you? Do you even know who you are?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And unlike here, when somebody does something wrong, right? You're imprisoned. If you
Right.
steal, they put you in prison. You
Yeah.
could steal a piece of something, the piece of meat, and you end up in prison for years. Whereas
Yeah.
in our community, we didn't have jails. That's an introduction. That's a foreign introduction to our community. We didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have jails. As a matter of fact, pardon me. As a matter of fact, if you did something wrong, the elders will bring you to the center of the
Mm-hmm.
compound, and they'll start praising you. They'll say, do you know who you are? We need you to change your ways because we need you. You are this, you are that. By the time they're done with you, you want to live up to their expectations, because
Mm-hmm.
human nature is such that we make mistakes. You cannot correct mistake by making another mistake. It is a mistake to beat somebody down when they are their lowest. Help them up. Now, the ones that we don't forgive is if you kill, if you take somebody's life, that's a totally different thing, you know. But because you violated a few social mores, it's no reason to put you away in a prison forever. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? Instead, they try to encourage you. Like I said earlier, Uwa Onyioha, whose child are you? Do you know whose child you are? Do you know who
Mm-hmm.
your ancestors are? Let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
this story, please. I must share this with you. I was I had just bought a new car. It was in Michigan. I was at a gas station, and this young man came and threatened me with a gun. And he
Mm.
said he wanted my car. I should give him my keys. He wanted my car, you know. And well, for whatever reason, I was not frightened. I told him, I gave him my keys. I said, you could have the keys. But do you know whose child you are? Do you know who you are? Do you know you're the son of Africa? Do you know
Mm.
that Africa will be crying today to know that this is what you've been reduced to? This is a car. I can replace my car. You can have it. But you cannot replace a life, your
Mm.
life. You're giving your life, you're ruining your life over a car. Do you know whose child you are? Do you know who your ancestors are? This young man stood there and stared at me and threw my he threw the keys down and ran away. He didn't take the car.
Mm.
It kind
Yeah.
of it shocked him what I was saying. For a
Yeah.
moment there, he paused because I kept telling you, you know whose child you are. So we need, well, it doesn't matter who you are, you need to know that your circumstances can't define you. You
Yeah.
can go beyond that. You can go beyond that.
But see, that's who you are. You're a person who elicits that kind of remembrance, right? Because he had not been told who he was in the context of his heritage and his history. He had been
Yes,
told who he was in terms of context of his living environment. He may have lived in an impoverished area. You're not going to amount to anything because
yes,
no one in this area amounts to anything. He's looked at the news. So it's like, okay, if I'm not going to amount to anything, let me just do things that are going to keep me in this situation because I can't aspire to do things that people who don't look like me can aspire to do. I've been told that all my life. My community sometimes has reinforced that. But because of who you are and how you speak with such veracity and such passion, it's not a rote script. It's
yeah.
like something that's coming from the depths of your soul. Now, what I want you to do, I hate
Yes.
to use the word what. I would like for you to, before we get off, definitely tell the story of when you went to the coffee house and you saw this elderly Black man in front of the coffee
Oh,
house that people had been
oh
passing.
yeah, yeah. That was a Walmart. That
Oh,
was
okay.
yes, that was a Walmart. And here again, this is why it's so important that we pay attention to what is said to us. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
when we focus on our environment, when we focus on what's going on around us, we become a little bit more enlightened. I had the opportunity to go to Walmart that was last Christmas, I think it was the last two Christmases. And outside was a gentleman, an older gentleman, who was very cold. It was rather cold, and he was shivering, and I felt badly for him. And I felt badly, most importantly, because there are all these people, they're going into Walmart and they are obviously going Christmas shopping. But there's this old gentleman here who obviously needs some kind of attention, because it was cold. So I invited him to. into a Walmart. There's a McDonald's right next to, right inside of Walmart. So I asked him if he was hungry. He said, of course, he said he was hungry. And when he got in there, I told him, order what you want. And he ordered, my guy, let me tell you, he was ordering everything. Yeah, I said, oh my. But which was all right, because he was definitely hungry. So he ordered, after he ordered his food, he went, he sat down. And as he sat down, and I ordered mine, and I went and sat next to him. And he said, ma'am, you don't have to sit with me. I said, absolutely. Why not? I don't have anyone else to sit with. It kind of was really sad for me to think that he thought I was somehow above him and
Mhm.
didn't should sit with him,
Mhm.
whereas I thought, that you just sit with it, of course you bought him food and he's gonna be sitting by himself. You might as well sit and eat with him. And so as we started eating, and he's telling me about his background. He was, he's a veteran. He doesn't have a phone. He has been out of touch with his family, blah, 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 blah. He went on and on. But I looked around and saw all these people with their Christmas bags and all the gifts that they have purchased. And it just occurred to me that it was a good time to kind of work on people's conscience. So I got up and I started singing Silent Night, automatically, being that it's Christmas, everybody started singing Silent Night, what have you. Then after the song, I said, may I ask you guys a question? I said, if Jesus Christ came back today, would you know? Would you know what he looks like? If he walks through the door, would you know what he looks like? I said, this gentleman was outside, and all of us, all of you are here, getting ready to celebrate Jesus' birthday. Now, what if that's Jesus? He's Jesus. What if this gentleman sitting here is Jesus? Would you know? Now, there was silence in the restaurant. I said, do you know what he looks like or what he would look like when he came back? As far
Mhm.
as you know, this could be him testing you.
Mhm.
But you
Mhm.
guys are failing woefully. Let me tell you, it's amazing when you put something in front of people that they haven't given much thought. You elicit humanity out of them because everybody started donating to this gentleman. He ended up with $278
Mhm.
donations right there. And it was quite cool that, I felt, I was so happy for him. He was so happy he couldn't believe it. And then I took him to Red Roof Hotel where, where he was put in, where they give him a room so that he can take a bath and make a long story short, we kept up with him until eventually his family did come to get him. Well, some of my
Mhm.
friends were able to pay to keep him there much longer until his family got there. I say this to say, but if you spend some time, if you spend some time looking around you or being part of the world, you don't have time to focus on your past. You have to be a part of the world, see what's going on, and in some way, some manner of form, be a part of it. Be the reason, the cause and the reason of joy and good in the world. And that is one way to heal yourself. Believe it or
Yes.
not, it's quite
Yes,
healing.
it is. It
It
is.
is.
I agree. Yes, it is. And I think that you've given such a wonderful example of how to do it because some people only do things around the holiday time because they want photo opportunities. You know,
Yes.
entertainers and celebrities, and before and after that time, they're absent. So what you
Yes.
do, and you always show up regardless of the season, and definitely not because of photo opportunities. And that's who we are as a people, as a humanity. We have to get back to that. Before we go, though, I don't want this time to pass without your giving people contact information. How can they reach Dr. Osumari, Dr. Osumari, Dr.
Dr.
Osumari?
Dr. Uwa Onyioha Osimiri. Yes. how can they get in touch with me? My phone number is 248-773-1857. 248-773-1857. And my email address is WMC2011, I beg your pardon, 20211 at gmail.com.
Repeat
And
your email.
my email is WMC20211 at gmail.com. And I have a website, awmcglobal.org. awmcglobal.org. And that's where you can find out a whole lot of information about what I do.
Mm-hmm. And I am sure there will be people who will want you to come to make wonderful, wonderful, thought-provoking presentations, civic clubs, churches, all types of organizations, because we need to have someone like you, again, speak from the heart and remind us to care about one another. Put down the cell phones, put down all of those other distractions, and just turn to people. There are people who have children in their homes and they're communicating via cell phone and they're right next to each other. That's maddening. That's maddening. So we need to stop doing that, because time is passing and people are leaving. Just because someone is here today does not mean that the person will be with you tomorrow. And it's regardless of age. People are leaving in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, 60s, 70s, and above. So take time to care. Take time to care.
Yes.
Give people their flowers now so that they can
Yes.
appreciate them. And give them time. Give them your
Yes.
time. That's a precious commodity. Give them your time and your attention.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. May I add one more thing, please? If
Oh,
you don't
sure.
mind.
Sure.
I
Sure.
just want to remind people that if they can, if they have some young women, young girls from ages 12 to 18 that will be interested in participating at this Black Girls Rise event, they should contact me at my phone number, 248-773-1857. And we also, very soon, by God's grace, we are going to be opening a center for young girls for STEM, to teach them all aspects of STEM, and they get to live there, all expense paid. They'll get to live there for a year until they learn science, any aspect of the of STEM, and then we get them employment before we let them go. So I just wanted to plug that in there. But they'll find out all that on the website. Yes, absolutely.
And also, Dr. Osimiri, she's being very, very modest and kind. I am asking people who are watching her to provide financial donations. Okay? This movement needs to have your financial support. Support young girls. Like I was saying before the podcast, I'm no longer interested in people being upset about what's going on or not going on within this country. Do something about it rather than being in your chair, on your couch or whatever, and talking and complaining. Dr. Osimiri is providing an excellent way for you to get involved. And I'm asking people, everyone who's listening, to make a financial contribution to assist and aid to the empowerment of our young girls with STEM. We can change things
There's a workshop.
immediately.
There's a website for that if they want to help to support the STEM program. It's STEMSHE, STEMSHE.org, STEMSHE.org. That's where you learn all about what we're going to be doing with young girls in STEM. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you have some young girls like Dr. Osimiri had mentioned who may be interested, definitely get in touch with her, because what we desire to have is to have our young girls not be captured by the streets, because in 10 years we have lost 1 million Black young girls and women, and no one's talking about that. And Atlanta is the #1 city for human trafficking. So what we can do is we can reverse this by grabbing our young girls early, putting them in a very supportive environment and nurturing them, just like Dr. Osimiri has done throughout her life, and her father did for her, her mother did for her. I know that happened for me within my community. You know, it takes a community. You know, it takes a village to raise a child. So let's become the village again. We can do this. We don't need people's approval. We don't need outside funding. We can do this for ourselves. Because if we do it, we don't have to be concerned about people pulling the plug anymore, because we're in control. All right, so thank you so much, Dr. Osimiri. It has been an honor. Yeah, I am so happy to have had the opportunity to have you provide this very valuable information to our listening audience. So get in touch with Dr. Osimiri. We're going to have all the information available underneath, and she will be able to talk with you via the chat. So definitely call her and circulate this video, because we have the replay and it's going to be on Spotify audio, Spotify video. We have our own YouTube channel, Great Lives on the Rise, and my Facebook page, LinkedIn. We are everywhere. We're global. We have over 10K to 12K views per month. Wow. My tech director says per week, but I'm looking at the numbers. The numbers are there. That's no fabrication. So we thank you. We love you. And Great Lives on the Rise. You see this? Okay.
Thank you.
Join us every Sunday. Tell others about it. And like, subscribe, and pass the information on. We love you. Take care until next time. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Great Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Scents, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Scents is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Great Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.